Adding motion graphics can make any illustration stand out, but you're thinking it's really difficult and time-consuming. Well, I'm glad you're here, because it's actually pretty easy. Let me show you. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this 3-part tutorial, we're going to create this awesome illustration in Adobe Illustrator, animate it in After Effects in part 2, and add some cool music and sound effects in Premiere Pro in part 3. Alright, it's time to create this illustration, so let's dive in. Inside Adobe Illustrator, draw a big rectangle and round its corners all the way in. Now create a copy of our stadium shape, make it slightly bigger, match the space between by adjusting sides and tucking corners back in. Then change the stroke color to dark blue and make it slightly bigger. Now grab the ellipse tool, click anywhere and create a circle that is 100 by 100 pixels. Then grab the eyedropper or press I on your keyboard and click on the orange shape to copy the stroke values. So this is going to be our sun right there, and now we need to create sun rays. So grab the pen tool and draw a straight line at the top of our circle. Then inside the stroke panel, round off the cap and corner. Next up, grab the rotate tool and find the center of the circle. If you can't see this, you have to enable Smart Guides, so press Command U, and when it says center, press Option and click. You should then get a pop-up window where you can set the angle to -30 degrees. Now, the trick to this method is to press the copy, not the OK button. And all you have to do now is press Command D 10 times. So we should end up with 12 sun rays rotated around the sun evenly. So now let's make 12 more, but a bit shorter sun rays using the same process. Select the top ray, then press Command C to copy. Just don't paste yet. Select all sun rays except the sun. Then grab the rotate tool, then Option click in the center and set the angle to -15 degrees. And then press OK. So we moved the long rays out of the way, and once this is done, press Command F and we've got our top ray back. Now let me zoom in, then grab the direct selection tool, click on the top node and lower it down a bit while holding Shift. So this is our shorter ray that needs another shorter ray above. So let's switch to selection tool, grab our line and drag it up while holding Shift and Option. And then with the direct selection tool, make it even smaller and move down a little. This should do. Now let's repeat the process of creating copies with the rotation tool. Press Option and click in the center. Let's change the angle to 30 degrees. And I didn't add minus, so we're going anti-clockwise, but that's okay. Now let's finish this up by hitting Command D 10 times. And I think 10 points for this stroke here is a little bit too much, so let's lower it to 8. Also, let's rotate the sun again, so the top long ray is at the top. Then press Command G to group it, and our sun is complete. Next, I want to add mountains outline. But instead of drawing this from scratch with the pen tool, I want to show you how to use the stock asset and how to solve one problem that might come with this. So over here I found this lovely free asset on Adobe Stock, and this mountain outline is what I'm after. However, when I place it inside my illustration, I notice it's a shape that is slightly thinner than my artwork, and it's not made out of editable stroke. I could just increase. So one way to solve this is to add a stroke, aligned to outside, and match the width like this by adding 2 points. That works well. Then simply expand Appearance and with the Pathfinder, click to Unite. And to finish, let's change the color to our dark blue. And it's looking good. Moving on, I want to tidy up the artwork here. I'll grab all the sun elements and I'll expand the stroke. With a Shape Builder tool, we can easily bring up the sun behind the mountain effect. See the anchor points here? I want to move those to create that nice and even gap, the white space between the sun and mountains. I'll use a circle shape that is matching the end of the sun ray to cut out all elements. Let me just change its color so we can see better. So I'll move it a little bit closer to the end of the sun ray, making sure I've got the Align to Pixel grid disabled. Right, this over here looks good. And now let me just remove all the sun rays that should be behind the mountains. Just like so. Then Option click the purple circle, drag it to the opposite side, place it on the sun ray, like that, and on the other one. Then press Command Y to enter the outline mode and see if everything is aligned correctly. Then press Command Y to exit, select both, press I to copy the orange color before using Shape Builder tool and removing the end bit. And click and drag to join. Now same on the other side. But here I also want to use our circle as a spacer, sort of indication where the sun ray should end. So I'll just create some copies and remove those copies once I'm happy with the spacing. Then select Shape Builder tool, Option click to remove, then click and drag to join, and select both, Option click to remove, and let's go back because it's not aligned. So Command Y, zoom in, try to adjust the position. There we go. Select both, Option click, then click and drag to join and change those purple rays back to orange. Now let's repeat the process, but first let's zoom out and check everything is looking good. I think I will remove this bit and I will tidy up the middle section of the sun. So let me just fast forward now and repeat the process using the same methods. So this is looking good. Now I want to create two horizontal lines, a camper van and a tent illustrations, and some text in the middle. So let's bring the rulers to each side of the mountain shape. And if you can't see the rulers, press Command R on your keyboard. Now grab a pen tool and draw a horizontal line. So click on the left ruler, hold Shift and click again on the ruler on the other side. Then let's change its color to our dark blue, set the stroke width to 8 points and round the cup. Now let's expand the line, so go to Object, Expand and click OK. Then grab our line and drag it down while holding Shift and Option to make a copy. I'll lower it down a bit to give more space to the camper van and tent illustration. I'll grab the rectangle tool, and then let's swap fill to stroke and draw a bottom part of the camper van. And set the stroke to 6 points. Then click and drag while holding Shift and Option to make a copy like this. And with Direct Selection tool, I'll move top 2 anchor points so our camper van looks less boxy. I'll draw one more rectangle here for the window. And I'll draw a line at the bottom to give our van a bumper detail. I can now select all shapes, open the stroke panel, set the cap and corner to round and align the stroke to inside. Then with the ellipse tool, I'm going to draw a circle, just like so. And I'll Shift Option and drag it to make a copy, so our camper van has two wheels. And last but not least, let's draw one more line for the surfboard. Then grab everything and with the Shape Builder tool, remove the lines inside the wheels. And our camper van is complete. So let's move it to the side and create the tent now. So let's grab a star tool, click anywhere and click OK. You should end up with an upside down triangle. So let's rotate it while holding Shift like this. Then I'll move it and make it smaller. Thinking how big it should be comparing to camper van. Then I'll Option Shift and drag to the left to make a copy, making sure the lower corners intersect. Now I'll grab Pen tool and I'll draw a horizontal line to join triangle's tops. Then I'll hold Shift and click at the bottom. And I'll grab everything and with a Shape Builder tool, I will get rid of this line here. Now let's draw a curved line on the side of our tent. It should look like a crease on the tent's fabric. Now drag it down while holding Option key to create a copy, then make it smaller. And then one more line here to create a tent's base. Select all and press Command G to group it. Now I'd like to draw a couple of lines to create grass. So draw a short line and grab a rotation tool. Hold Shift and set the rotation point below the line. Then hold Option and Shift and drag to the side to create one copy on the left and two copies on the right side, like this. Now let's grab the Direct Selection tool and change the length of each line to give it a clump of grass look. Then position and align all lines. And once you're happy, press Command G to group it. Then grab a Reflect tool, click in the middle, hold Option and Shift and drag to create a copy on the other side like this. Now let's align it to our rulers and we can now move on to creating our text in the middle. So let's grab the Text tool, click anywhere in the middle and select the Avenir Next Condensed font. I'll change it to bold and make it bigger. And I'll type Happy Camper in all caps. Let's change its color to our orange. And I think it will look better when I resize it and increase the tracking to 200. So that's better. And to finish this text, let's resize it a bit and align so it's centered. That looks good. Now, moving on, let's create some trees. I'll draw one long vertical line here. Then one more at the top. But I'll use the curvature tool to bend it a bit. So that's our top tree branch. Now let's draw one more bigger branch at the bottom, but this time I'll click and drag the second anchor point to bend it, just to show you how to do it both ways. Now let's select both lines, go to Object, Blend, and select Blend Options. Then set the spacing to specified steps, orientation to Align to Path, enter 5 steps and hit OK. Also, before I blend this, I'll just quickly fit this anchor point here. Cool. Now select both branches, go to Object, Blend, then Make. And the left side of our tree is done. To make the other side in just one click, let's go to Reflect tool, click at the top anchor point and drag while holding Shift and Option keys. Select the middle line and make it slightly longer. Then Shift click on the branches and align them to the middle line. Now let's resize it and position it in the lower center like this. We want this to overlap the orange line and leave some space above for the water waves. This should do. So let's grab the tree now while holding Option and place the copy somewhere here. Then go to Object, Expand, and this has expanded the blend effect into lines. So go ahead and expand it once again. So now we can see there's no more strokes, just objects. Then select both and from the Object menu, select Blend Options, change the number of steps to 2, then go to Object again, Blend, and select Make. And yes, we have to expand this one more time. Then double click and align the trees like this. Select all trees to the left, then grab the Reflect tool, click in the middle and drag to the right while holding Shift and Option. Now let's select the orange shape, right click, arrange and bring to front. Then Shift click the trees to add it to selection and grab the Shape Builder tool and now hold Option and click, then drag to remove all 3 elements below the orange line. But let's fast forward this here now, shall we? Cool. Now select trees, right click, arrange and send to back. Everything is looking good, so let me go to Pathfinder, click to unite and change the color to green. Also, let's select both grass clumps, expand the stroke and also change its color to green. Okie dokie, it's time for the final element, the wavy water. So, with the pen tool, draw one long horizontal line while holding Shift, like this, and change the stroke color to light blue. Change its value to 6 and round the cap and corner. Make sure it's in the center, zoom in, then from the Effect panel, select Distort and Transform and Zigzag. I'll change the size to 6 pixels, enter 11 ridges per segment, pick smooth points and click OK. Then head back to Effect, Distort and Transform and select Transform. And this is where the magic happens. So we're going to change the Move vertical value to 30 pixels, then enter 4 copies over here and then hit OK. And now it's still one line. So go to Object and select Expand Appearance. Then double click, grab the Ellipse tool and draw an oval. Let's center this and resize so the lower part matches the treetops line. well, more or less is fine. Then shift-click the waves to add it to selection, grab the Shape Builder tool and remove all the waves outside the oval, like this. Once done, delete the oval and with the Direct Selection tool, tidy up some of the outer anchor points. Just make sure you delete all the same anchor points on the other side too. I'm happy how it looks now, so I'll resize it, and this is pretty much done. I think I preferred the light green for the trees after all. I can delete the rulers and color palette, off you go. Then let me check everything is okay. So just a couple of final touches, making sure everything is aligned. Expand all the strokes and unite the camper van and tent groups. And there we have it, our illustration is complete. This wraps up part 1 of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new today. I'll see you in part 2, where we'll bring this illustration to life by animating it in After Effects. Bye for now.